Yo, new comic book day is almost here. It's time to take a look at the books coming out so I can tell you what's on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I detail of the books coming out this week. This time we're talking about Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. But we're talking about the books coming out, talking about what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list. Books I'm going to be making a game day decision on. Now, this week is the week leading up to Heroes Con, so I can't spend a ton, and thankfully it's not a budget busting week, but it is stacked. A lot of books I'm excited about, none more so than Black Panther issue #1 from Ewing and Chris Allen. This is going to be a great comic, or at least I hope so. Now, you guys know I'm on the record. I did not enjoy the John Ridley run of Black Panther, or at least I didn't enjoy it issue to issue. I did go back and sort of read it all as one big saga right after I filmed my review. If you didn't see my review, it's over there on the screen or something. But anyway, after I filmed my review, I did read it again, and it wasn't as bad on a reread. And as an individual story, I think it's fine. But there are still criticisms that I had in my review that I still hold today. Like, I don't like the way T'Challa reacted to adversity in general. And I don't like that he just didn't seem to be very self-confident throughout the run. Like, yeah, if everybody else hates you, cool, Peter Parker, like that's a thing. But there shouldn't be the self-loathing. Like, there should be some determination there. And it was there in spurts. But anyway, let's not rehash that review. I say all that to say I did not like where they left things. The status of Black Panther and Wakanda. T'Challa is basically exiled from Wakanda. And so he begins this run, the Ewing run, as basically an enemy of the state. And so he's operating in the shadows, going to parts of Wakanda that he wasn't really showing his face in before. And so I'm sure that's going to have some interesting implications among the so-called locals of that part of Wakanda. But all in all, I'm curious to see how this whole thing goes with him being an enemy of the state, still trying to protect Wakanda because he loves Wakanda and I guess sort of prove himself and get back into good graces. I don't know how the run's going to go. I don't know what the setup for this issue is, if there's going to be a new villain. I didn't even read the solicit. Yeah, I mean, well, that's basically what I said. New direction, new villains, new creative team. Get on the ground floor. So I'm excited overall for a new start for T'Challa. It's not a reboot. It's not going to ignore anything that happened before. But hey, sometimes all you need is a new creator, a fresh set of eyes to get a good story going and bring your favorite characters back to glory. Just ask fans of Wally West. So Black Panther issue 1, written by Ewing, art by Chris Allen. This cover A by Torrin Clark is really, really good. And that's the one I'm getting with a cover price of $4.99. Now, let's talk about the rest of the Marvel comics on my pull list this week, starting with Amazing Spider-Man issue #27. Now, I just finished reading issue 26 as I'm filming this, and yes, there was a big death in issue 26 of The Amazing Spider-Man, and I don't know. I felt like that death wasn't really earned, but it is what it is. Even aside from that death that I feel pretty indifferent about, the run, I've got to say, had been getting better as of issue 23. 23, 24, 25, and 26 were all really good issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. And now that one dude has been defeated, I'm curious to see where this run is going. Now, if you read the Free Comic Book Day preview for this year, then you know there's something that's going to be happening with Doc Ock and potentially Kraven the Hunter. And that's interesting all in itself. And so I'm curious to see how those seeds are getting planted. If this cover is any indication, those are going to start with this issue. So Amazing Spider-Man issue 27's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. By the way, The art in this issue is done by Ed McGuinness. If you enjoyed the Dark Web saga, maybe not the story, but the art, like I did, you're gonna want to grab this issue, and I want to grab this issue. So that's there. $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Now, next up on the pull list is Planet of the Apes, issue number 3. Written by David Walker, art by Dave Wachtel, if I remember correctly. Look, do you need a Planet of the Apes comic book? Maybe not. But if you enjoyed the last 3 Planet of the Apes movies that came out, like what, 08, 2010, I don't know when they came out, but you know, the new trilogy, the most recent trilogy, they're basically rebooting it. They're going to have another new Planet of the Apes movie coming out here soon. And this series, these 5 issues, or is it 6? They're the bridge between what was that trilogy that ended with what, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and this next one. Anyway, I'm fully enjoying it. We're seeing, once again, this virus taking over the world and people reacting in different rational or irrational ways, trying to like just attack the entire ape population. And the apes have minds of their own, clearly. And so we're going to see the apes and their human allies trying to fight off this insurgency. I can't remember what they call themselves. If there was ever a Proud Boy stand-in in a comic book, it's these insurgents that want to protect the world from the apes. But hey, you know, your mileage may vary. I feel like for as much as it appears to be like just straight up sort of mirroring a lot of things we see in the world, it doesn't feel like an overtly political book, like for the purpose of sending a message, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm enjoying it, which is why I'm grabbing issue 3, out this week with a cover price of $4.99. By the way, I think we're going to be finally meeting up the sort of heir apparent to Caesar's whole Planet of the Apes throne. We're going to figure out who's going to be leading the apes this time around. That's why this issue is exciting to me. Cover price on this one, $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Now, the next book on the Marvel pull list is Wolverine issue number 34. If you haven't been following, the whole Beast agenda into the Weapons of X storyline, I don't know what to tell you. I've been telling you for like 3 months that it's some of the greatest stuff in comics. But Ben Percy is just doing a great job. He has been setting up the Beast as this rogue agent of Krakoa, and he's basically he's gone rogue. He's not a friend of Krakoa right now. He's fighting for Krakoa, not on behalf of Krakoa, and they don't necessarily agree with him. And among his methods has been cloning himself a bunch of times and cloning Wolverine a bunch of times. And you know who doesn't like that? Wolverine. So we're going to get a part of this battle once again. I don't know if it resolves itself in this issue, but it's going to be another fun and solid chapter, I'm sure. Cover price on this one, $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book, or last book on the Marvel Comics pull list this week is XMen Red, issue number 12. Yo, I can't even lie. Sins of Sinister kind of just took me out of the game when it comes to most of the X books, namely Immortal X-Men and XMen Red. So I haven't read issue 11 of either series yet. And I don't know. I assume that I'm going to be back on board with these, but it's also pretty clear that I need to have read Sins of Sinister. So I'm going to go back, pump my brakes, finish out Sins of Sinister, go back and read what I didn't read, and then jump back into Immortal X-Men and XMen Red. And I'll let you know what I think about it in another video. But XMen Red issue 12's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's going to do it for the Marvel books on the pull list. If I stick to the list, those will cost me $22 this week. All right, so now that we talked about the Marvel books on the list, let's move over to the distinguished competition with DC Comics. And my DC pull list, not as long this week. But first book up is Green Lantern issue number 2. Now, you probably saw my video about why I just don't feel like I can root for Hal Jordan necessarily. But don't let that trick you into thinking that I'm not enjoying this run. I thought issue 1 was a well done, enjoyable issue. The art by Germanico, bro, is amazing. So I'm all in. I want to see what's going on with Hal. And it does help that I've been reading the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run, and I care a little bit more about Hal than I did a month ago. So, hey, it is what it is. But I am also very, very curious to see what's happening in this backup story by Philip Kennedy Johnson because, hey, Jon Stewart has ascended. He ascended in the Jeff Thorne run, and I thought that was going to be undone, and so I was kind of like skeptical about what it was going to look like. And it turns out nothing to be skeptical about. Philip Kennedy Johnson, I'm excited. He's one of my favorite writers at DC right now, so excited to see what he's doing with his backup. But back to the main story. Jeremy Adams was great on Flash, and unfortunately, his Flash run just ended with issue 800 last week. And now, if you're a Jeremy Adams fan, this is the book for you. And like I said, it was really fun. I enjoyed the dialogue. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of this book. I just didn't personally enjoy how Jordan's character, like not him as a character, but his character as a person. Does that make sense? Character, like, whether you're a good person or not. I felt like Hal wasn't the greatest person. But anyway, all that to say, I'm excited for Green Lantern issue 2. I'm going to grab that this week. And from the looks of it, Kilowog's making an appearance. And Kilowog might be my second favorite Green Lantern after Jon Stewart. Yeah, I'd probably give him a solid number 2. But anyway, Green Lantern issue 2's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the pull list from DC Comics and Milestone is Static Team Up Anansi, issue number 1. Now, this is a one-shot issue that it's set before Shadows of Dakota, but after the Big Bang in this whole Milestone Returns continuity. This one's written by Evan Narcisse with art by Charles Stewart III, who was a member of the Milestone Initiative. So if you grabbed that Milestone Initiative one shot last week, sort of anthology book introducing everybody, then you've seen some of his art. I haven't picked mine up just yet, so I don't know. But I've seen Charles Stewart's a lot of like covers and just sort of commission work on his Instagram. I've not seen him doing sequentials. And so while I know that Evan Narcisse as a writer is a huge fan of Milestone and a big Milestone historian, he wrote the Milestone 30th anniversary special, or the main story in that, a couple months ago. And it was enjoyable. I liked it. This, of course, is taking Anansi, who was a character that was created for the TV show, and bringing him into the comic book universe. Anansi, that episode where Static goes to Africa and meets Anansi and teams up with Anansi, I think it's in season 3, is a great episode. As a matter of fact, I think it might be the season premiere for season 3. No, because season 3 was a Batman team up. Seasons 3 and 4 were both Batman team ups. But anyway, go check out that episode. It's on HBO Max right now, or excuse me, just Max. But go check that episode of Static Shock out so you know who Anansi is, what his power set is, and you'll see how they're going to bring that to the Milestone universe here in Dakota City. Talking a little bit more about the supernatural and sort of occult side of these Bang Babies and other things going on. That's going to be interesting. Again, the only reason this didn't make like the sort of most excited list is because I've been really itching to see a new direction for Black Panther. And I'm kind of like, what kind of gives me pause about this is this will be the first time we're seeing Static not drawn by Nicholas Draper Ivey since like 2011. And I've really been enjoying the Nick Draper Ivey Static. And so seeing Static in a more traditional art style is going to be a trip. It's going to be trippy. And it can either be really good or lackluster. And so, I don't know, trying to temper expectations. But hey, I'm excited. It's Static. Static's one of my favorite characters in comics. And he's teaming up with Anansi, who I really enjoyed. His character design is awesome. I'm grabbing the cover A, by the way, for a cover price of $3.99. But Natasha Bustos has a cover B that's really good. And wait, who's drawing the cover A? Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, clearly that's Nick. Anyway, Nick Draper Ivey's on the cover A. Natasha Bustos is on that cover B. But the 1 in 25 variant, which I doubt most shops are going to get, is done by Edwin Galvin. And that cover is dope. That's the one I actually really, really want. But hey, it's a type of week. So we'll see what happens. $3.99 for the cover A, though. Now, the next book on the pull list is Superman Lost, issue number 4. Now, Superman Lost, written by Christopher Priest. Art, I don't remember who's on art. Is it Howard Porter on art? But anyway, oh, Carlo Paglia. That's who's on art. Howard Porter did some other stuff in one of the other earlier issues. But anyway, I've really been enjoying this book. Now, issue 3, if you don't know, this book is about Superman basically going through a black hole, or what do they call it? Synergy? Something. He went through a something, a black hole, basically, and found his way on the other side of space, and he's trying to get back to Earth and, of course, his home. And his journey ends up taking him, like, I don't know, 30 years or something crazy. I'm trying to remember how long it's been. I think it was like 2 years of real time. Or no, that's what it was. For him, it was like a 25-year journey, but for like the rest of the world in Metropolis, it's only been like a minute. But we're seeing how he spent that 25 years or however long it was. And he's trying and trying and trying to get back home. Now, the last issue, it kind of lost me with the whole Space Dolphins, Lobo Space Dolphins. I was just like, all right, what's happening? But it just kind of established like that Superman is being super resourceful, trying to figure out as many ways as he can to accelerate the process of getting back home. So not much happened on Superman front, but what really got me excited was there was a very, very small development in this case that Lois has been investigating. And for whatever reason, that's got me more intrigued in the Superman story right now. So Superman Lost, issue number 4. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's the last book on the DC Comics pull list this week. If I stick to the list, those are going to cost me $14. Now, let's move on to the indies, where there are 3 books that I'm grabbing. First up is Gunslinger Spawn issue 21. Now, honestly, I should drop this book, but I keep buying it because I like the art and because it's only $2.99. So there's that. Gunslinger Spawn 21's got a cover price of $2.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next issue or next book on the pull list is Monarch issue number 5. Monarch, written by Rodney Barnes, art by Alex Lins. Yo, this book has been dope. This book has been dope. It is, I hate comparing it to like a hood movie or like an urban coming of age movie, but it does have that feel with like a War of the Worlds sci-fi edge to it as well. All in all, a combination I didn't think I needed in life, but I really, really like. And so it reminds me of like Boys in the Hood mixed with like Mike with aliens. I don't know how that makes sense, but it makes sense in my head. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this series. Obviously, there's been a betrayal, and Trey is feeling that, as you can see from this cover. So I got to get caught up. I need to read issue 4. And then I can grab issue 5 this week with a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the pull list this week is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 140. Now, I am on the record. I said that I was probably going to drop Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after the Armageddon game was over. And technically, I didn't lie. Although this issue is set after the conclusion of the Armageddon game issue 8 hasn't come out yet. So technically, I told the truth. For now. But why are they releasing these out of order? I don't know. Have I been reading the Armageddon game? No. This is going to deal with the fallout of the Armageddon game. And I'm going to read it, having skipped the entirety of the Armageddon game event. And if I like it, I'll probably keep buying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's probably what's going to happen. So, just forewarning you. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 140 has a cover price of $3.99. The cover A is great. I actually like the cover A a lot. But the other reason I'm buying this is for that Kevin Eastman cover B, homaging Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1 with a bunch of mutants. How would you not buy that cover? Anyway, that's it for the indies on the pull list. If I stick to the list, those are going to cost me $11 this week. And we are up for a grand total, in case you were keeping track at home, of $47. Now that's before taxes, before my subscriber discount, as well as before the charge. They're going to charge me for bags and boards, which, hey, I'm not bagging and boarding my own comics anymore. Just can't do it. So I'm all good with all that. All in all, it'll be about a $44, $45 total when it's all said and done. Works well for me. Now, let me know what you guys are grabbing in the comments down below. Let me know what you're excited about. Spider-Man is surprisingly good. I'm very excited about Black Panther. Very excited about Green Lantern, believe it or not, as well as Static Team Up. Honestly, there's a bunch of bangers on this pull list. The only thing I'm really not going into it crazy excited about is XMen Red and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, hey, all in all, I think it's going to be a great new comic book day. Now, just so you know, we are not doing a live stream hangout this Thursday night. I am actually going to be at Heroes Con this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you are in Charlotte for Heroes Con 2023, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at BJKicks. Twitter will probably be the quickest way to find out where I am on the convention floor and what panels I'm attending at all times. So hit me up. I would love to see you guys, love to see and connect with you guys, take some pictures, chop it up, all those things. Come see me at Heroes Con this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like I said, follow me on Twitter and IG. Huge thanks to the channel family for making this video and every video on this channel possible. Their names are scrolling right over there next to me. I really, really appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys in another video real soon. Till then, be safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.